Straight ahead on 12 News, the surge in solar.
When we started, we were doing maybe 10 or 12 projects a year, and last year we did 47.
A look at the local rise in alternative energy projects. Plus, the continuing search for Barway. Authorities return to the water looking for the missing Crystal Boy. But first, a high-profile shooting in Brooklyn Center. But police say that doesn't tell the full story about crime in the city.
There's reality and there's perception.
12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Brooklyn Center Police continue to look for the person who shot and injured a man on Sunday night.
The incident happened at the Metro Transit hub off Bass Lake Road around 7 p.m. Brooklyn Center Police say the man was shot in the stomach, but he was alert and talking when emergency responders arrived. The shooter is described as a black male in his early 20s with short hair and a medium build. Police say this was not a random incident. While Brooklyn Center has been home to several high-profile incidents of violent crime in recent years, police say those cases don't tell the whole story.
The 2014 police statistics show the city has seen dramatic decreases in crime. Elaine Cleveland has more.
It seems like an all-too-familiar sight in Brooklyn Center over the past couple years. Police at the scene of a violent crime.
There's reality and there's perception.
According to Brooklyn Center Police Chief Kevin Benner, those incidents aren't representative of their city as a whole.
It's hard for people to believe. They think that they're just walking down the street and somebody will randomly, violently assault them. That's the perception.
In reality, he says random assaults in Brooklyn Center are rare. And as long as people follow 3 simple rules, chances are they won't become assault victims.
Don't buy drugs from a person. Don't buy sex with a person. And if you're involved in a violent relationship, get out.
In a report presented to the City Council, Brooklyn Center Police say violent crime has fallen to its lowest total since 1999. There were 97 violent crimes last year. Meanwhile, property crimes, which include burglaries and thefts, fell to the lowest level since at least 1985.
That is great news. So we're happy about it, but we still see that there's room to go down.
Police say the reason why much of it went down in the first place stems from a policy change in 2007 to enhance their outreach to young people.
We realized that we were chasing robbers, we were chasing violent criminals, and that's way down in that life cycle of crime. And it was the youth. If we would have focused our attentions there, we probably had a greater impact, and it worked.
Officer Chris Knodel works on the Juvenile Outreach Program.
The goal of what we're trying to accomplish here is not to put kids into the system, but try to address issues with kids before they become major problems.
Officer Knodel goes to open gym at Brooklyn Center's Youth Rec Center and leads diversion programs for when teens are caught committing low-level crimes.
I believe that it's much easier to fix a broken kid than it is a broken adult, and that's the basis behind our program.
The officers here hope it's a system that keeps working so that the teens don't end up the focus of one of the high-profile violent crimes.
Hopefully they'll take from the diversion class stuff I said about these consequences. They go, you know what, Officer Knodel said this, maybe I'm going to think twice before I do this.
Well, the chief says he'd like to see more teens participating in the department's diversion program. That's where teens can get their records expunged by successfully completing the program, which teaches life skills and the consequences that result from shoplifting, vandalism, and curfew violations. Last year, only 62 juveniles completed it compared to 137 in 2013. Mike and Alex?
All right, thanks, Elaine. Crystal Police and other agencies continue to work around the clock trying to find 10-year-old Barway Collins.
He was last seen more than a week ago outside his apartment building. Reporter Sonia Goins has been following this story and has the latest.
Day 12 of the investigation, and law enforcement officials continue to comb the Mississippi River looking for Barway Collins. Today, the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office went up and down the shoreline of the Mississippi River, searching for Barway Collins. Crystal Police say there is strong evidence the boy's father, Pierre Collins, was in this area shortly after Barway went missing on March 18th. Barway was last seen getting off his school bus at their Cedarwood apartments.
Over there. We're going to open our day with a popular Liberian song.
This weekend, a vigilant search was held to find Barway.
I try God, he is all right.
There were songs and prayer and calls to find Barway.
The focus today is that we want to find Barway. We want to do all that we can to bring Barway home.
But at one point, the vigil got to be too much for Barway's stepmom. She eventually fell down, overcome with emotion. There was also speculation surrounding Pierre Collins.
Let's ask the critical questions. We can't just sit here and say, bring Barway home, when we cannot fill in the puzzle. And that puzzle lies with the families and the friends of Barway and his family.
Crystal police say Pierre Collins is considered a suspect.
Man, you know where that kid is, man.
One person in the crowd called them out during the vigil.
Like she said, how come he ain't out here trying to find? Because he know where he at.
And I understand emotions are high. Let's keep the focus on finding our son, and we will go in search of our son.
After the vigil and rally, volunteers searched the area behind the apartment complex where Barway lives.
Everybody, let's go.
They combed railroad tracks and even looked at a nearby park, a place where Barway used to play, but still no signs of him.
It's been 10 days now. We haven't seen our son. We miss him. We miss him so much. Please let him go, please.
Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Pierre Collins is not in police custody, and anyone with information on Barway Collins' whereabouts is urged to call Crystal Police.
In Brooklyn Park today, investigators are trying to determine whether several grass fires may have been intentionally set. Firefighters responded to 4 separate grass fires along westbound Highway 610 shortly after 11:30 a.m. 3 Brooklyn Park crews and a crew from Maple Grove responded.
We did not see a broke down vehicle or something like that that may have trailed sparks or something. So at this time, the fire is under investigation.
It could take a couple of days to a week to determine the cause.
Maple Grove's longest-serving council member may not be serving much longer. The Star Tribune reports that LeAnn Sargent won't appeal a higher sentence for her cheating her dying father out of $100,000. Sargent originally received a gross misdemeanor sentence, even though she agreed to a felony plea deal. Last month, the Minnesota Court of Appeals ruled that her punishment was too lenient. Sargent will be sentenced May 14th, resentenced that is. She's expected to receive a felony sentence, which would prevent her from serving in public office.
Osseo's former police station looks a lot different today. Demolition work took place to tear down the house which Osseo police have used for 17 years. The building had multiple problems, including asbestos and mold issues. The city's small police force now has a new home, moving into an addition onto City Hall. Robbinsdale residents will once again have to get used to construction in their neighborhood. Today, the Lake Drive project resumed. It'll be done in 2 parts to accommodate school at nearby Lakeview Elementary. Work will first take place from France to Indiana Avenues. Then in June, construction will occur from Indiana to Lake Road. The work is necessary to replace sanitary and storm sewers. When finished, there will be curb and gutters, wider sidewalks, and a traffic signal at Lakeview Elementary.
Construction also ramped up today in Maple Grove. Crews started work on the Highway 610 extension project from Elm Creek Boulevard to I-94. It'll include building a new bridge at 105th Avenue over Interstate 94. And the 610 expansion is expected to be completed by the fall of next year. Up next, one industry where the job market is especially hot.
And then a little bit later in sports, local skaters lace them up at the Great 8 Hockey Festival.
But first, serious spring fever. Tuesday will be a great day to get outside. Minnesota's solar industry is booming.
New jobs and companies are coming onto the scene. In this week's Business Matters, a look at why the forecast is bright for those working in solar. At Jim Bowler's house, the sun shines brightly on a project he's dreamed of doing for years.
Prices have come down. They're half the price that they were 10 years ago.
The retired engineer is talking about the cost of the 32 solar panels that Rebecca Lundberg and her partner Dan Williams are installing on the roof.
It pays for itself somewhere between 6 and 12 years.
With a federal tax credit of 30%, the homeowner will pay a little over $22,000 for this nearly 9-kilowatt system.
It should pretty much cover my entire power bill. I might have to pay a little in, or they might pay me a little back.
Lower costs and tax incentives are helping to fuel small solar companies like Powerfully Green, which started in 2007.
When we started, we were doing maybe 10 or 12 projects a year, and last year we did 47.
According to a recent report, Minnesota currently has 119 solar companies, and the number of solar jobs has grown from 864 2 years ago to 1,800 jobs.
You can't outsource boots on your roof. So there's a lot of small business contractors that are doing solar work and becoming educated in this field.
The solar project at Jim Bowler's house is in its final stage.
We got a little readout right here on the display, and we're making just over 7 kilowatts at this exact moment.
With the house producing power, the utility meter spins backwards, and that's a sight that makes Jim smile.
I don't have to worry about rate increases anymore. I've made my investment. It's going to be here.
The federal solar tax credit expires in December of 2016. Coming up, an early arrival for the Easter Bunny.
But first, local stars shine in the Minnesota High School All-Star Boys Basketball Series. John Jacobson has the highlights next.
The Minnesota Basketball Coaches Association Annual All-Star Weekend brings together 40 of the top seniors from that year's senior class. And the 2015 All-Stars played a total of 4 games over 2 days in St. Cloud Friday and then Saturday in St. Paul. Highlights here from the green versus maroon third-place game. Josh Collins of De La Salle with the early dunk. Player of the Year, J.T. Gibson of Champlain Park dribbles just over the three-point line and drills the 18-footer, part of an 11-0 run for the Green All-Stars. And then Gibson will start a drive. He'll give up the ball on a pass, and Brandon Newman of Barnum hits a 3 from the corner to put Green up 35-18. Jerome Dixon of Armstrong played for the Maroon team. He hits a 3 to get the Maroons back within 8. At halftime, they held a 3-point shooting contest, and Jeremiah Hansen of Maranatha Christian Academy was pretty good here. He wins the event with shots like those. Back to the game in the second half, and it's Hansen repeating that success, this time from the wing, and Green leads 80-64. But the Maroon All-Stars chip away at that lead. Dixon with the assist here on the lay-in by Ryan Kaczynski of Mounds View. Then a great pass by Champlain Park's number 4, Marty Hill, to the hoop. To Joe Rosga of Cretin-Derham Hall for 2, and it's an 8-point game, but the Green All-Stars, featuring local guys Gibson and Hansen, win it 131-128. A dunk contest was held too, and this is De La Salle's Jarvis Johnson, the senior from Brooklyn Park. Impressive, he takes home the dunk contest trophy. On to the championship game between the blue and gold all-star teams. Dan Jeck of Rochester Mayo with a little floater for 2 gives his team a 16-12 lead. Sean Burns of Armstrong was on the blue club. He throws down an impressive dunk here off a pass from Bjorn Brolman of Lakeview Christian. Not a lot of defense played in these all-star games. Jonathan Coyers of Fridley with the dunk. Gold leads by 4. Second half, Johnson will pass to Stillwater's Matt Anderson, who hesitates, but then will finish at the hoop, and the Blue All-Stars trail 74-70, but they come up short. The gold team wins the championship game 107-102. It was All-Star Weekend in boys hockey, too. The Ted Brill Grade 8 Festival features 8 teams of seniors grouped by their playoff sections. Ben Christofferson of Osseo on the Section 5 team in gray against Section 3. Turnover nearly costs a gray team. Pass intercepted leads to a breakaway, but goalie Zachary St. John's of Coon Rapids makes the save, and it stays 0-0. Champlain Park, Jacob Aberwald knocks the puck to himself and gets a quality chance, but he is stopped, and it's remained 0-0 through 2. In the third period, Section 5 breaks through. Zach Cole's shot is deflected in for a power play goal, and it's 1-0. Great accuracy on the long-range shot as Alex Seeger of Anoka hits the empty net. Section 5 wins 3-0 as they go 1-2 on the weekend. In the light blue, Alex Stevens of Wayzata playing for the Section 6 All-Stars. Riley Argetsinger of Eden Prairie will carry into the Section 1 zone and fires a shot home. A lot more scoring to come in this game. The red team will turn it over, and John Peterson of Holy Family makes them pay, snapping a wrist shot up high and in, and it's 2-0 for Section 6. Nathan Dingman of Whitesetta will carry it up the wing. His pass deflects in off of Ryan Marciniak of Alexandria, and Section 6 is in front now 3-0. Second period, Dingman to Argett Singer gets the return pass and scores, make it 5-2 in favor of Section 6. At the other end, Hopkins goalie Josh Kumichel comes up with a big stop on the odd man rush that keeps it 5-2. Third period, Peterson stopped in the slot, but Chase Jungles of Benilde knocks the rebound in, and Section 6 wins at 9-3. They finished 2-1. Section 2 won the championship. In college hockey, a former Wayzata star helped Minnesota Duluth help eliminate the Gophers. Number 13 in white, Tony Cameranesi of Plymouth scored the Bulldogs' first goal in a 4-1 win over Minnesota in the Northeast Regional semifinals. The Bulldogs were eliminated Saturday by Boston University. St. Cloud State and Minnesota State Mankato were also knocked out that day. Not a great weekend for Minnesota-based college hockey teams.
All right.
So that is it for that. All-Star girls basketball comes up, by the way, in 2 weekends.
All right. Thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, kids learn to get dramatic during spring break.
Plus, when it's okay to put all your eggs in one basket. We'll be right back.
My cat has a sheet.
Well, school may not be in session this week. Kids in Golden Valley are staying busy learning about theater. The group is taking part in a drama camp at Brookview Community Center. Instructors are using silly improv games to teach the kids important techniques they'll need on stage.
You're learning to project, you're learning to face the audience, you're learning more about how to show emotion and make it exaggerated.
Kids will also learn about creating characters and show off their skills with a final skit Tuesday afternoon. The Easter Bunny arrived a little early in Robbinsdale this weekend.
And he wasn't alone. A record crowd turned out for the annual Spring Eggstravaganza at the Robbinsdale City Hall on Saturday. Lines started forming 2 hours before the event, which is sponsored by the Robbinsdale Chamber of Commerce. Nearly 500 people lined up for donated hot chocolate and cookies. And kids opened Easter eggs with slips of paper inside telling them what they had won. It could be some big teddy bears or, in some cases, as you see there, bikes and scooters. Robbinsdale Lions Club and the Westfall American Legion are among the groups that raise money for the prizes. Nice thing, they've been doing that since 1993.
Wow.
Over there, and it just gets bigger every year.
20 years,
Yeah,
wow.
right. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow at 4.